Hi to Candle Red, and this perhaps is my favorite chapter, especially when Euro Cup is going on. It's called Newsmakers. The tags that we are talking about is quality education, goal number 4, and triple I, which is goal number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And essentially, it's about maths, but maths behind football. If you look at today's teenagers, we've graduated a one notch from my generation where Xbox and PSPs were very popular. Thanks to the turf, the kids are at least back on the field where they belong. They may not be on those brown, muddy waters that we used to play on, but at least they're playing. Why not encourage them to make their play even better when we think of combining the greatest gift we've got, which is maths, with the greatest play that we've got, which is football. You see, the stadium itself is all about maths. Football players have numbers written behind jersey. The field itself is calculated. The statistics, the goals, the amount of time, 90 minutes extra time that we're looking at, penalties, and then the fans come in, the stadium come in. It is such a huge field that we have maths everywhere. In fact, if you're an excited person, find out maths for book for football. These are things that you can add on pictures of stadium and look at the mats around them. You can look at geometry as well, that the shape of a football field, why is a D called a D, and everything around mats. I think you just have to start this conversation and your kids can speak as much as you feel on mats and football. My first activity, which is a beautiful one, is something that was recently done when FIFA World Cup happened in Qatar. It's called the Stadium 974. What's so important about 974? Well, 974 was the name of the shipping code of Qatar. So India is plus 91. Same way, United States is plus 1. 974 was the number of containers used to make a stadium, and it was completely dismantled, and the stadium was actually rebuilt in one of the developing African countries. How amazing is this statistics? Well, there are multiple ways you can talk about it. Think of all the 32 nations that participate in FIFA World Cup in Qatar, and what are the dialing codes. I mean, just bring a world map and you can do that. How many countries in the world play football as, and how many countries have football as a national sport? I can think of Egypt, I can think of South Korea, I can think of countries, Mexico, Spain. The football is not just a game, it's much more like a passion, like an, how cricket is in India, football could be that. Think about some more stadiums being constructed which are unique, which are different, domes, stadiums which are looking like a hangar or a ship, and you will have multiple talks about it. How about making a football stadium with some resources? Giving them just books and say, okay, use 25 books and make a football stadium. I have seen marshmallow experiments being conducted, and students have done amazing. These are pre primary kindergarten kids. Why not do something hands on? My second activity for them is called football fever. Well, football honestly is the simplest game in the world. But there are certain rules which are always difficult. What's an offside rule? This is one of the most difficult rules. Help students explain what an offside is to someone who do not know football. How do you score a penalty? Who is under more pressure when there is a penalty being scored? Is it the goalkeeper or is it the one taking the penalty? Or what's a handball? If you look at the defenders, they always keep the hand behind. Why is it so? The rules, the strategies, the tactics. How important is a coach in a football field? What about Mbappe and what about the new players that are coming in Haaland? How muscular they need to be? Do they need more stamina? Do the referees need more stamina than the players? Because referees have to do running in full stadium, and when the footballers are defenders, midfielders, and forward attackers. Or what about linesmen and the support? So many areas you can talk about. You can talk about the entire heroes, Messi. What was his championship meal like? And Messi needs to be fit for the football. So what do you think is the diet that a footballer would have? There is world around it. And this day perhaps you can tell all your students to wear the football jerseys and come to the classes. I would love to see some pictures of the things you do. The last part is very simple, very interesting. The mascot. Well, Laib is an Arabic name for a super skilled player. That was the mascot for the Qatar World Cup. There's a Euro 24 going on. Find out what the mascots are. What does mascot actually mean? I remember growing up when there was the first Asian Games, and Appu the elephant was the mascot in New Delhi. Well, you can have fun about mascots. What do they do? The spirit of Laib. Why not show Laib? Look at the way a Laib is actually made, how an Arab would wear the headgear with. There's so much of culture into it. Find out some mascots from United States, some mascots across it. Imagine if you had to conduct a football World Cup in a country of your choice. What would the mascot be? What would the theme song be? I know Waka Waka by Shakira was the theme song. The flag, the routine of cheerleading. Mascots over the years, I've shown some pictures. I love them. Find out which countries have these mascots. There's a lion, there is a fox, there is a dog, there's a player, there's a Lego brick like thing. I mean, there is a bear, and I think the entire exercise around critical thinking. There's enough to think about. Now let's enjoy the game of football, and let's really make our students understand maths through football.